Okay, so U.S. Russia. Let's see. Let's go back here. U.S. got carrier, destroyer, 2 fighters. Put them over here. As you can see, they did go up to 64, so our threatening of the Solomon Islands worked well. That does mean this sub is way away from here, but he stacked Egypt, so this sub is going to be able to sneak into the Med next turn. And he's got some fighters and bombers all around here, so that could spell trouble for Mr. Battleship next turn, or the, you know, not UK4 but UK5. He could be in trouble because we can't close this because he put the destroyer here to block me from being able to do a transport over here to close the Suez down. So Suez is going to be open. He's going to sneak that sub in this direction. So that's something I got to be thinking about. We're going to come back to that in just a second. But the good news is with all this going north, um, it does mean, well, not the good news. The bad news is my decision up here obviously was a bad one because he killed all 3 with only losing 1 infantry. Brutal. Um, so with Japan, I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to defend this. I haven't really thought about that. I haven't looked at this yet. Haven't really thought about it. But we got a lot of floodgates open on the north end. But he did not reinforce India at all, so that tells me he's got to be evacuating the India. So good for Japan. Um, if we can take it and hold it, really though. But even if I hold it and trade it, that's 3 less units he's building down here for eventually when Germany makes it through Moscow. So, and he kept his guys over here, so he's not really trying to come back. Um, last time, so it doesn't look like he's trying to defend India. So I feel like we should be sitting okay to take India. Now I want to take it and hold it. That's going to be the trickier part. So ideally, I would have more fighters sitting up here in Karelia that could fly into India on Germany's turn and come back. But we're a little short on our fighters right now, so German air is not going to be real helpful for holding India. Um, but yeah, so we'll address that when it comes time. And so this is going to be a headache. We do have a couple, looks like, shots at the Russian fighter that are Japan bomber and these 2 fighters can all 3 reach there, which may be worth it. And then land here, especially if I'm able to transport some ground back here and destroyer block that part, stacks. Well, we wouldn't transport over there. I don't know. Well, I'll look at that later. That's a Japan turn thing. We're not going to worry about that right now. Right now, we're going to worry about making the most out of this. So, first things first, purchase. Are we okay with infantry in Italy? That means 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm okay with it because, like I said, I'm really probably targeting G9 to be honest. This is my gut. So I'm okay with building infantry down here. No transports in range of France, so we can move these guys on out of France. We do got to watch. He does have a fighter here, so I'll probably keep the AA fighter bomber here, and I'll explain that in just a moment. Because this is where we want to keep the UK fleet empty as long as possible. With only 2 airplanes, we're not going to be able to do it forever. He does have the ability to build a carrier and fly 2 fighters over there next turn, but he's got a carrier coming around the side here, so he may want to use that and save money on building a carrier up there because carriers are expensive. And this guy could go UK3, UK4, and have a transport be trading my west coast of Europe. But this is where all this comes in. That is him going 23 and then 8. What if our battleship is sitting in 14? He can't block me because presumably the destroyer is dead then. And he can only get 1 fighter to there. So we would have a battleship 1, 2, 3 bomber threatening there, so he would have to bulge out to Sea Zone 22. And just by doing that, now he's going 3, 4, 5, so we delayed a landing in Europe by 1 turn, which means that's that many units of infantry not going the wrong way for 1 turn. So to me, that's worth risking my 2 air on the destroyer, is where all that's going, so that we can non-combat the battleship transport over here. Now, if we get them over, when we get the battleship transport over here, yeah, he's got U.S. fighter bomber he could go at with him, but that's really it. And UK's got the fighter 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fighter bomber as well. But fighter bomber is not a great guarantee, so that may not be a great battle that he wants to take. So presumably my transport battleship's going to live another turn, because like I said, he's probably going to bring the UK sub in and then get me caught between the 2 parts of the UK. But that being said, I still want to have 2 units. I want to build 2 units in Italy just in case we can make use of the transport one more time for a sacrifice or whatever. So I want to make sure that we're building at least 14 units. So this is my build, 10 infantry, 4 artillery. I could have gone 15 units. I could have gone 14 infantry, 1 artillery and had 15 units. 15 units is better than 14 units, right? Well, if you think about attack strength, and someday I'll do a video going into that more details for those that haven't been in here. It's not the same thing as attack power. Attack strength in my book brings in the number of units as well as the attack power. But my attack strength of an attacking infantry is 3. My attack strength of attacking artillery is 5. 5 times 4 is 20. 3 times 10 is 30, so that's a 50. If I did this would be 42 and 5 is 47. So because of the strength of the artillery, this is a stronger offensive build. It's a weaker defensive build, but it's a stronger offensive build. And by the time these units back here make it up here, we're going to be on the offense. So we want offensive firepower. So why not take it another step and do it like this? Well, that's 13 units, 10, 2, and only 1 unit here. And I'm not going to have anything in France. So I want to make use of the ability to have 2 units for the transport there. So there's our build. Oops. We are not attacking with a battleship because we want to be able to non-combat him through. Still debating this component down here a little bit. I'm all about trading with him. So we're going to have 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29 units in here. He's got his 32. I suppose I should double check that, but that should be safe. See why that would not be safe. But a quick count, 23, 3, 4, and 2 fighters versus 3, 13, 15 infantry. Actually, that would be 13 infantry because we're going to have artilleries in here. 3 artilleries, 12 tanks. Oh, the AA, that's what I forgot. I'm like, well, I'm missing something here. Yeah, that should easily be a defense power of 70 versus attack power of 50. We should be fine. So I like the idea of trying to trade that guy in. Down here. So down in this part of the board, he's got 2 infantry, artillery, tank, fighter, bomber. So he's got 6, the 4, 6 units, and I've got the 5. But he's also got a follow-up of infantry, tank, fighter, bomber. So he's got the 1, 2 there. That'll probably wipe me out pretty easily. So I think we're going to do this. And I'm going to leave 1 infantry so that he has to actually commit ground and not just blitz the tank back and forth and sit here. And I don't need more because he's only going to have a US tank over here, so I don't need anything more over here. Alright, I think that's all my attacks. I really don't like doing the 3v1 attacks, but what you gonna do? And again, you notice he did not trade these. For those that are looking at going, why isn't he trading those? It's because it's not efficient for him to trade them, to put it simply. That he does not want to trade these. It's better for. I normally will do a 1 and a fighter trade, attempt at them. I think it's worth that for the potential of the 2 IPC, but it's not a bad idea just to turtle. When you're on the defensive, the less trades you do, the better. So, unlike me, where I got smoked here, and all my units are down here. So that is going to cause trouble. Alright, here we go. I babbled on long enough. Let's get that destroyer with no losses. Alright, 4. Ah, dang it. Oh well for the no losses. Well, again, may not have been worth it. But once again, like I said before, the good news is I'm not, in a KJF, I'm not too flushed about German fighters. German bombers, important to me. Ground's important to me. But I'm not as concerned about the German fighters because they're no better than the tanks in the offensive side, which Germany's all in offensive. It just weakens my whole trying to dead zone the sea zones for the Atlantic, though. All right. 1, 2. The fighter can go there, so we'll leave 1 guy there. Actually, I do want to see 23, 3, 4, 2 versus. So I like putting the A in there. It means he's got to risk his fighters, or he's got to go heavy because he does have to worry about my tanks blitzing in. So he really has to take it. So I love putting my AA into Archangel to make him have to sweat that out. Which I am going to go ahead and put all 12 tanks up in the front. I was going to keep a couple back here again for backdoor and Ukraine, But I think we're just gonna push forward right now. And let's see, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I still want things going through the Baltic, going up through Karelia right now. Oh my goodness, come on. All right, let's start over. This is being frustrating. One there. Two artillery up there. One there. 9 and 1. There we go. All right, so like I said, we're at least we do start the dead zone on 23, so the sacrifice of the fighter is going to make him lose one turn on attacking the C zones. So that's a positive. Up here, we're getting these units built up, getting the pressure. So we got 25, 28, 31, 32, 33, 34 units pushing on him. You know, he does still have plenty of defense there that he can stack it, but he's got to go heavy here. And then I can go in with a whole stack maybe next time and make him draw back. We'll see.